What's up, y'all, man? This episode, I hope you like it. Let's go. Man, how can anyone deny God's creation? The design. The design in nature is ridiculous. And people may say, hey, what are you talking about? You see this human body is this. Why can't we not live longer? Why can't we not stop this cancer? Why can't we not do this? Or all these different things. What are you talking about? The human design is amazing. First of all, the destruction in the design doesn't just stop the evidence that there is design to begin with. And then second of all, through all of that, through all the time throughout history, how does it still look this good to begin with? That means the original design must have been amazing. But I'm not gonna play with it. I'm gonna give you four main ways or four things we're gonna look at that's gonna show you that you can't deny this. You can't deny this design. So it's gonna get right into it. So the first, and now this one is funny because it's snowflakes. Now this is funny because some atheists will use snowflakes to disprove God, as to say that look how nature can design a snowflake naturally without the need for God. So it's ironic that I'm using snowflakes when they say that this is the exact, some scientists will say this is the exact one, the issue or the area where it proves that God is not necessary. But I'm going to show you the exact opposite. So look how snowflakes are formed. Come on. And look, come on, let's look at this. Let's go. Now look at this. A snowflake is a hexagonal ice crystal that forms when water vapor in the atmosphere condenses onto dust particles. As the crystal grows, its final shape is determined by the temperature of humidity in the air it falls through, leading to diverse forms like plates, columns, intricate dendrites. The six-sided symmetry comes from the angle at which the water molecules bonds together to form the ice lattice, which is 120 degrees. The six-sided structure. Look at this. The water molecules freeze into a hexagonal six-sided lattice structure due to the 120-degree angle between the hydrogen and oxygen atoms in the water molecule. Because each snowflake's path through the atmosphere is different, it experiences unique changes in temperature and humidity. This is why no two snowflakes are exactly alike. But how do they look? How do the snowflakes look? Look at this. So they say that these snowflakes, the hexagonal pattern is a naturally occurring pattern based off the way it's falling, and then the based off how water droplets or ice or whatever, the way it shapes itself in nature, is forming these hexagonal structures. But now you see how they didn't explain why the water is doing such a thing. Why is it forming in these hexagonal structures? It said this is the way that's doing naturally as it falls and as it bends around the dust particles and ice and whatever. It's like, but why is it forming this shape? You got to be kidding me to think that this shape, like, are you serious? Like, the way that it is, just the simple fact that it has the exact little pattern all the way around, and you're saying that, oh, no two are the same, but for some reason, every which one is always being different patterns like this. So you think that naturally occurred in the atmosphere just naturally, or does it hint to something else? Now, what is this? What? Why is this important? Because this introduced the idea of patterns. Now, why is it so important? Patterns are so important because patterns introduce thought. So, what do I mean by that? Because where does the order come from? So we're going to get into the topic 2 and 3 because they're going to illustrate what I'm trying to say. So look at the second topic, and you will look at the third topic, and we'll see what I'm trying to illustrate, and you'll see it more clearly. So the next one is snakes. Now look at this. Do you see the pattern that I'm talking about? So here's the pattern. You have the red, black, white, black, red, white, black, white, black, red, black, white, black, red, black, white, black. Goes all the way around the snake. The pattern, the the order and the pattern. What's the next one? The intricate detail of the orange and the black and how they relate to one another. This other one. Look at this other one. Come on. You have orange, black, white, black with the same pattern. Now, the reason why this is important, like I said before, patterns introduce thought. How does patterns introduce thought? It's because there needed to be thought to say, I'm going to do this way and make the same consistent pattern all the way around the entire creature. It's because that can't randomly be in nature that I'm going to make a pattern. Whenever you have patterns, you have intention. Whenever you have intention, you have thought. So some may say, oh, it naturally evolved. It makes no sense to say it naturally evolved to be a pattern, because what's the need and necessity for pattern? What's the need for patterns? And you can't get pattern out of randomness. Now, it doesn't work that way to get a pattern out of randomness. This is literally a design. This is literally a design on this is you can see it's reoccurring throughout all of the creatures. This is reoccurring. This is a design of a snake. This is a design of it. So if this is a design of it, that means that's intention. I'm intending to put this design on many different snakes. So that means whenever you have intention, you have thought, because something intended for this pattern to exist. Now this is what gets crazy. The snakes are amazing, but it's even crazier on the next topic. It's even crazier on the next topic. Butterflies. Now I know you all seen the butterfly. Now check this out. Are you serious? Are you serious right now? This butterfly is literally like somebody painted on the butterfly. Look how it's like perfectly orange on the exterior wings, but orange with a black smidget on the bottom wings. It's like it's not even possible to think that the patterns will just naturally occur in nature when, and you look it up and they be like, how do the butterflies get the pattern? They'll say, oh well, well, it evolved and they had the patterns for camouflage reasons. They have the patterns for genetic makeup and all these. It's like, okay, you didn't tell me, you didn't make any sense. You didn't tell me how do they have this design? Because for some of the creatures, it's hard for that to blend in. It's easy for this creature to blend in a camouflage than for this one to. You can't camouflage when you are decked out in a raid like this creature. It makes it so harder to camouflage on a leaf like this, because look at it. How can you blend in and camouflage when you all decked out like that? Like somebody somebody painted on you the best clothing. The intricate down to the most intricate detail. It looks like a paw. It's Let's keep going. Look at this. Patterns introduce intention, and intention thought. Now this is crazy right here. Down to the little dot on each one and the two on the side. I mean, I'm done. Like this is so Why is this important? Well, all of it's important, but why? What does this make me think of? This made me think of this. Check out this passage where Jesus said, and then you'll hear what I'm saying. Look at this passage right here. So in this passage, Jesus is telling them about anxiety and worrying. He's telling you, why are you worrying? Like, and so listen to this passage right here, verse 28, Matthew 6. And why do you worry about clothes? See the flowers of the field grow? They do not labor or spin, which is what the women, the seamstress or whoever, what they'll do, they'll toil and spin, they'll make up the clothing, they would put them on this type of machine, and there are several ways of how they can make the clothing, but he's saying, look at the flowers of the field. They don't do any of that. They don't do any of that. But look what God says. Yet I tell you that not even Solomon in all his splendor was dressed like one of these. If that is how God clothes the grass of the field, which is here today and tomorrow and thrown into the fire, will he not much more clothe you? It's like, so what is God getting at when he says this? What is Jesus getting at when he says this? Check this out. So he's talking about this. Look at the way the flowers are. The beautiful, the design, the way that they are constructed and the way they are clothed, meaning their whole makeup. Like, look at, if you're going to tell me that somebody did not paint this on the flower, it makes no sense for the flower to be this elegant. Why in the world? Why in the world the flowers are not just pure, just bland? Why they're not all just gray or all just like just some pale? Like, why are not all there will be no need. There will be no need for all these flowers and all these creatures to be this elegant, like somebody literally painted on them. You don't see how this looks like somebody painted this, but this is not painted. So why would the why would they be this way? And somebody may say, "Hey, you asking all these why? It's just how it is in the nature. They evolved. They had genetic diversity, and it's like you just giving me words to try to explain what already is, but you ain't telling me why something is the way it is." And you say, "Oh, science can't tell you why the way it is." Exactly. You can't tell me why because it doesn't make sense your way that is randomly make it to just be this much diverse and creativity on all these creatures and creation. Like, come on, come on, come on. So, but the crazy thing is, the best one, for some reason, is the last one. And even though all this was great, the best one, the last topic is the best. Check this out. Now, everybody knows how important bees pollinating are, and other species, also animals and other insects, pollinate. But bees pollination is like super important, and I believe it's like 70 or 80%, something like that. They like, that's how important bees are. But I don't know. Did you ever notice that bees bees don't know that they are pollinating? Bees do not understand and know that they're doing it. So what are they doing? Bees are unaware that they are pollinating because they are driven by instinct to gather resources such as nectar and pollen to feed themselves and their colony, not to reproduce for the plant. While visiting a flower, pollen gets stuck onto their bodies and is then accidentally transferred to other flowers when they land, which is a process entirely separate from their own goals, similar to a child buying an ice cream without understanding economics. Bees are motivated by the immediate need to collect nectar and pollen for sustenance. They see flowers as a food source, not as a tool for plant reproduction. As they move around on a flower, pollen from their anthers sticks to their hairy bodies. When they fly to another flower for food, for more food, this pollen brushes off until the next flower's, the new flower's stigma. Are you? I'm gonna finish. Bees have no understanding of the concept of pollination, reproduction, or the long-term consequences of their actions for the plant species. They are simply fulfilling a biological imperative for survival. So you telling me something that as important that's helping 70 to 80% of our way of life, like we need or we wouldn't survive, is done by an it's done by an accident. So you telling me the bees accidentally are polluting, pollinating the plants. They don't realize they're doing it, but it is so important that if they didn't do it, we will all die. So something that important is done by an accident? The bees, that's just God's sense of humor. Come on. How can something that important be done unaware? You're not making, you don't understand like how everything fits together, all this order. It's like the flesh it just doesn't want to see it. It makes no, it should make so much sense that you get bothered. It should make so much sense that you get bothered to be like, come on, how can anybody not see? How can something that important be done by accident? They fly to the plant. They collecting nectar and pollen. The actual pollen and nectar or whatever the substance of that plant gets stuck on their hairy bodies, and they're flapping their wings at such a fast pace. When they fly to another one, it happens to just brush off, and then helps the other plant because it gives that seed, so now it can grow, and now it can actually, that other plant can just gain that and then just continue to grow and grow and grow. It's like I can just think about seeing the hairy bees just getting nectar, and they're just flapping their wings, and they're not even trying, and they're just helping their whole ecosystem, and they're not even aware that they're doing it. But it's so important that if they didn't do it, we would die. You got to be the symbiotic relationships throughout all these creatures is ridiculous. The symbiotic relationships meaning that we need other things and other things need us, or another creature need another creature. All that order tying together, all that symbiotic relationships. It's like, dude, how is everything tying together like this? And we have so much order when everything started from an accident. You make no sense to say you started with disorder, accident, everything, randomness to evolve all the way to the complex order, everything fitting together the way we are now. It makes no sense. If everything was just meant for survival, it makes no sense that we would get to here. If you're just trying to survive, that means you're going to get the bare minimum on a lot of things. You're not going to get complex creativity in everywhere. You're just going to get the minimum. If everything was just trying to survive, there would be bare minimum of stuff because you're trying to survive the species. Natural selection is going to select what's going to allow that creature to survive. So that means everything is at the bare minimum. Nothing is excelling anything. Nothing is overdoing anything because I just need to select what I need so that I can survive. But we don't see that here. We see these coincidences that are not coincidence, that everything's fitting together, order. And then we see above that, we see extravagant stuff. Come on, we see extravagance. We don't just see regular, so we see extravagant design, like somebody painted Sistine Chapel. We see like above what the normal things, and we see like elegant design. It's yeah. So these four topics are like it's done. It's a done deal. They all show the incredible design in nature, and it's like you cannot escape it. I know that the flesh cannot see, it doesn't want to see, because it should be clear that that these things are showing, creation is showing, it's designed like this, that we have a creator. That's the normal, that's the normal thing. That's the normal way we should be thinking. That's the normal way. That's why throughout all ages, they always believe that something was greater. A God created things because that's the normal way to see that beautifulness. So the eyeball is not the people who believe in God. Is that's what most of the world does. The eyeballs are the people who don't. That's the oddities. The people who do not. It's not the people who do. Man, I'll catch y'all next time, man. This one was so fun for me. And sorry, hopefully you bear with me how excited I was because this is it's amazing. So I will see you next time, Lawrence willing, and we will tackle another issue because there's more to come. Peace.